Welcome to this IELTS Listening Practice Test, brought to you by Spinta, your partner in English exam success. This test simulates the real IELTS listening experience with authentic question types, timing, and difficulty levels you'll encounter on exam day. You'll hear the audio only once, just like in the actual test, so stay focused and keep your pencil ready. Remember to read the questions carefully during the preparation time and transfer your answers accurately. This practice will help you build confidence, improve your listening skills, and familiarize yourself with the IELTS format.
Part 1. Now look at Part 1. You will hear a man calling a home security company to make an inquiry. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good morning, Secure Homes. Sarah speaking. How can I help you?
Hello. I'm interested in getting a security system installed at my house, and I'd like to get a quote.
Certainly. I can help with that. Could I take your name for the quote, please?
Yes, it's James Spencer.
Spencer. And is your first name James, James?
That's right.
Thank you, James. Now, I'll need the address of the property.
It's 14 Cottage Lane.
Cottage Lane, okay. Have you had a chance to look at our packages on the website?
I have. I think the Guardian 2-feet system would be about right for us. It's a standard-sized house.
The Guardian 2. An excellent choice. It's our most popular package. That comes with 2 motion sensors, a control panel, and 4 door sensors.
4 door sensors. That's perfect. How soon could you install it?
Let me look at the schedule. We have an engineer free on the 31st of August. Would that work for you?
The 31st of August. Yes, that would be great.
Wonderful. Now, just to confirm a few more details about the system, you are aware that you can control it remotely?
Yes, I saw that. It's through a mobile app, isn't it?
That's correct. You can arm and disarm the system from anywhere. There is a monthly monitoring fee for that service, which is paid by direct debit.
A direct debit. Fine. And the installation itself, how long will that take?
It's usually quite straightforward. For a standard house, it should take about half a day.
Half a day. Okay. And where does the main control panel go?
We normally recommend placing the keypad near the front door, so it's easy to access as you come in and out.
Near the front door makes sense. And does someone need to be home for the installation?
Yes, we need an adult to be present for the whole installation. I won't be in that day, but my wife will be home, so that's fine.
Your wife. Perfect. I'll get that all booked in for you now, James.
Part 2. Now look at Part 2. You will hear a project manager giving a presentation about a new town walking trail. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is Catherine, and I'm the project manager for the new Mill End Town Trail. I'm here today to tell you about this exciting new initiative for our town. The main aim of the trail is to encourage both tourists and residents to explore our town on foot, and in doing so, to boost the local economy by increasing footfall to our wonderful local shops and cafes. Now, if you look at the plan I've handed out, you can see the route. The official starting point is the main car park, as this is the most convenient place for visitors arriving by car. From there, the trail leads you into the town center. The first major landmark you come to is the town hall. Right outside, we have installed a large information board with a map and a brief history of the town. The trail then leads you down towards the river. When you get to the river bridge, we've built a special viewing platform, which gives you a fantastic perspective of the old town and the water. After you cross the bridge, the path takes you through a lovely green space next to the old mill. We've used this area to create a new sculpture park, featuring works by local artists. And the final stop on the trail, before it loops back to the center, is the community garden. This is the designated picnic spot, with several benches and some lovely flower beds. The route itself is very easy to follow. We didn't want lots of big, ugly signs, so the trail is marked by small, discreet bronze markers set into the pavement. Just keep an eye out for them. We also want to make the trail as engaging as possible, especially for our younger visitors. While the audio guide has a small rental fee, we've produced a fantastic children's activity sheet, which you can pick up from the History Museum completely free of charge. Now, we really want our local businesses to get involved. We are asking all shops and cafes along the route to please display information leaflets in their windows to help promote the trail to visitors. We believe it will be a huge benefit to you all. Finally, if you want to find out more, the most up-to-date information, including details about special events linked to the trail, can always be found on the Town Council website. We also have a map there that you can download to your phone. Thank you, and I hope you all enjoy the new trail.
Part 3. Now look at Part 3. You will hear two urban planning students, Eleanor and Thomas, discussing their presentation on sustainable urban drainage systems, or SUDS, with their tutor, Dr. Green. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Okay, Eleanor, Thomas, your presentation plan on sustainable urban drainage systems, it's a very relevant topic. Tell me, what was your biggest challenge when you started?
I think it was narrowing down the topic. SUDS covers so many different technologies and approaches, it was hard to decide what to focus on.
A common problem. So let's look at your plan. Your introduction. You've explained what SUDS are, but I feel this part lacks a clear structure. You should start by outlining what you're going to cover in what order, to give the audience a roadmap.
A roadmap. Okay. Then we have a section on green roofs. I see you've cited a magazine article here.
Yes, this is a fast-moving area of technology. The sources you've used are from about 10 years ago. They're not up to date enough for a current presentation.
We'll find newer sources. For the section on permeable pavements, you've listed a lot of different types.
The examples provided are too general. It would be more effective to choose one or two specific materials and explain how they work in detail.
We'll focus that section more. For our case study on Portland, Oregon, you've described their citywide SUD strategy.
Yes, but your analysis is not sufficiently critical. You've accepted all the official claims at face value. You need to question them. Were there any problems? Did it work as well as they said it would?
More critical analysis. Okay. And for the cost-benefit analysis section, you have a lot of numbers.
You do, but just having a list of costs isn't very helpful for the audience. The data needs to be presented more visually. You should use a clear chart or graph to compare the costs and benefits side by side.
A chart. Good idea. So, Thomas, what was the most surprising thing you learned?
For me, it was the extra benefits beyond just flood management. I read about how SUDS projects, like creating wetlands, led to a huge improvement in local biodiversity. I hadn't expected that.
Those co-benefits are a vital part of the argument for SUDS. Now, regarding your case study, to add that critical element, I suggest you try to include the perspective of the residents. How did these changes affect the people living there? That would provide a valuable counterbalance to the official reports.
The residents' perspective. That's a great idea. And for the permeable pavement section, you suggested focusing in.
Yes, I think we should focus on one specific type of material, like porous asphalt, and really explain the science behind it. That would be more effective.
I agree. So what's the very first thing you need to do now?
We definitely need to go back and rewrite our introduction. We need a really clear, focused research question to guide the whole presentation.
Exactly. A strong introduction is the foundation. Start there.
Part 4. Now look at Part 4. You will hear a lecture on the psychological theory of cognitive dissonance. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good morning. In today's lecture, we're going to discuss one of the most influential theories in social psychology, cognitive dissonance. The theory was first developed by Leon Festinger in the 1950s. At its core, cognitive dissonance refers to a state of mental discomfort that arises when an individual holds conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. For example, a person might believe that smoking is unhealthy, but they continue to smoke. This clash between their belief and their behavior creates a feeling of inner conflict. According to Festinger, this state of dissonance is psychologically uncomfortable, and it creates a powerful motivation within us to reduce that discomfort and achieve consistency. The theory proposes that we do this in several ways. The most direct way is to change one of the dissonant elements. So, a smoker might change their behavior by quitting smoking to align it with their belief that it is unhealthy. But what happens if they can't or don't want to change their behavior? Well, the other option is to change their belief to match their behavior. So the smoker might start to downplay the health risks, telling themselves that the dangers are exaggerated or that it won't happen to them. A third strategy is to add new cognitions or beliefs to justify the behavior. For instance, the smoker might tell themselves that smoking helps them to relax or control their weight, and that these benefits outweigh the health risks. The classic experiment that demonstrated this theory was conducted by Festinger and Carl Smith in 1959. They had participants perform a very boring and repetitive task for an hour. Afterwards, the participants were asked to tell the next person waiting that the task was actually very enjoyable. Some participants were paid $20 to do this, while others were paid only $1. The interesting finding was that those who were paid just $1 were more likely to later report that they genuinely found the task enjoyable. Why? Because being paid $20 was a sufficient justification for telling a small lie. but those paid only $1 had insufficient justification. To resolve the dissonance between their action, lying, and their belief that they were an honest person, they changed their attitude towards the task itself. They convinced themselves it wasn't so boring after all. A common real-world example of this is buyer's remorse. After making an expensive purchase, we sometimes feel a pang of dissonance, worrying we've made the wrong choice. To reduce this feeling, we actively seek out positive reviews of the product and ignore the negative ones to justify our decision. Understanding this theory is incredibly useful. It's applied in fields like marketing, to encourage brand loyalty, and in public health campaigns, to encourage changes in behavior. Ultimately, the theory of cognitive dissonance reveals a fundamental human need, our deep-seated desire for our inner world of beliefs and values to be consistent and coherent.
And pencils down. You've survived another IELTS listening marathon. If your brain feels like it just ran a mental obstacle course, congratulations. That means you're doing it right. Want to torture yourself with more tests? We mean enhance your skills? Head to Spinta.org. That's Spinta.org, where we've got reading, writing, speaking practice, and vocabulary games that are actually fun. Yes, fun and IELTS in the same sentence. We're rebels like that. Thanks for listening with Spinta. Now go treat yourself to something nice. You've earned it. Spinta. Push forward. Achieve more.